Well, thank you all for being here today. My name is Kristen Solomon. I am the Executive Director of Blue Sky, and I am thrilled to invite our guests here today, Ivan McClellan, and two of the subjects from photos in his series, 8 Seconds. And just going to give folks just a few more minutes just to hop on.
Have y'all seen that photo? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I posted that one on Instagram.
I actually just seen it yesterday on the Blue Sky page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's pretty hard. We took that one down in Oklahoma.
Across the
Western
mountains.
Oklahoma.
Okay. I think we should just get started now. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I want to introduce to you Ivan McClellan. He's a photojournalist and designer based in Portland, Oregon. His work reveals marginalized aspects of Black culture and challenges broad and assumptions and myths about racial identity in America. Ivan's work has been acquired for the permanent collections of the Phoenix Art Museum, Tucson Museum of Art, the Portland Art Museum, and I always butcher this one. Ivan, what's the name of this museum?
Eiteljorg Museum.
Eiteljorg Museum and Booth Museum. He's the winner of the 2022 Getty Inclusion Grant. And McClellan's solo show, 8 Seconds, is on view at Blue Sky until June 29th. So if you haven't had the chance to see the show yet, I highly recommend that you get down here before it closes on Saturday. We'll be here from 12 to 5 p.m., 12 to 5 p.m. And without further ado, I'm going to let Ivan introduce our special guests, Margey and Ronnie.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here and thanks for having us. Really excited to be talking to my two friends. We've become friends through this work. I like to shoot them more than anybody else because they show up and they show out every single time, and it's just like great. I respect both of you as parents, as cowboys, and yeah, just really honored to have you here and to have you part of my life. I'm gonna ask you both. Well, I'll just say something quick about you, and then I'll have you introduce yourselves to the group. But Ronnie, I've known for several years through the photography work. Ronnie is a rodeo cowboy. Does a bunch of other stuff in Oklahoma. He's a father of two, and just a general all-around good guy. He was just here in Portland for the 8 Seconds Juneteenth rodeo, where he helped out, did roping lessons for the kids and adults in the main concourse, and just represented the culture really well. Ronnie, will you introduce yourself and tell either what you did today, because I'm sure it's interesting, or about your role in the cowboy world?
So I'm Ronnie Davis, based here in Oklahoma. I work on a ranch daily. So I move cattle, I bale and cut hay. Today, my task for today was laying a bunch of basically replacing a bunch of washed out gravel rock around the place for the roads that we had within the ranch, because we got about 6 inches of rain over there last night, and we had a bunch of washouts all through there. So I moved cows from one pen to another, and of course they're driven by horseback. So I've been outside all day from about 6:30 this morning to I guess now 6 p.m. here. So just throughout the day, I do a bunch of ranch work. I train horses. I vaccinate cows, cattle. And on the weekends, I get to have fun. I rodeo typically just about anywhere that's open. I know this weekend I'll be over in Purcell, Oklahoma, throwing a rope. And yeah, I mean, I have two daughters. One of them, she just got out of basketball practice, and the other one was scheduled for softball practice. And they canceled it, which is great because it's been a long day for me. And so typically, yeah, throughout the day, I'm outside 365 days a year, so I know how to weather each season. And I enjoy getting to work with Ivan. That's kind of like the fun part of being a part of the Western culture or the horse world, is because you get people um, that are more so interested in helping us tell our stories. And Ivan has done a great job at kind of helping facilitate that part of my life, as well as helping me with brand collabs and heck, even kind of working my way through some contracts because you know, I always say I'm more so like a outdoorsman. I don't really do a bunch of like computer work, but I am mentally inclined in that aspect. I graduated from the University of Kansas where I played football at. So that's kind of like a small glimpse into my life and from then to now. And, you know, Ivan has helped me with major brands such as Wrangler, um, uh, Long River Ranch Water. He's helped me with contracts with the latest gigs that I've done with Louis Vuitton. So Ivan has been a great asset to the process. So I'm Ronnie Davis, and that's a little bit about me.
Cool. Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate you. And then we got Margey Givings, the Margey Givings. She's big, big influence in the cowboy world. She works on a own ranch. She is race horses, does horse breeding. First time I saw Margey was in Boley, Oklahoma, and she was in a parade. And I took a picture of her. I really didn't know who she was, but I just thought, man, just the way she sits on that horse is different. You know, the way she sits on that horse was like real confident and real. You know, she sits on a horse like a lazy boy recliner. You know, it's just like on that thing. And then later on in the parade, later on in the rodeo, I saw her ride a bronco. She rode she rode ranch bronc, which I had never seen a woman do. And I think you stayed on for like 4 or 5 seconds, something like that. Um, got up,
Yeah.
smiling, laughing about it, and walked up to the fence. I got a picture of you at that fence, smiling. I got a picture of you on the Bronco, and I got a picture of you on the fence. So that was before I even knew who you were, and I just saw you like cowboying in a different kind of way. And then I went down to your house and shot you for a Wrangler campaign, and um, yeah, I think we just like hit it off. I took that picture behind her that day, and we were just like standing out in the field waiting for a cloud to pass over the sun for like 10 minutes, and it was just a really wonderful day. I think you and my sister are becoming friends. Like I really enjoy you, and yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, your role in the cowboy world, or tell us what you did today, because I'm sure it's pretty hard.
My name is Margey Givings. I am a racehorse owner, ranch owner. I do photography in my free time. I have about I have about 15, maybe 16 horses right now. We got 7 of them running. I have a 1-year-old son. He's my little ranch hand. He's here along the way. Today I got up. It was storming here last night, but it didn't storm at my ranch. It missed us. We need rain really bad, but we missed the rain. Fed my horses, groomed them, got them ready. We galloped 5 of them. We went and got hay. It was really basic, but it was so hot today. We were trying to get it all done before 95 at 10 o'clock, which we did. And then I've just been going out there checking my water, checking my horses. It's really hot out there today. I've become really good friends over the past few years. He's been here through the journey of me rodeoing to switching to race horses, me becoming a mom, and just every avenue I've been taking. He's been here along the way. I feel like I've done it all. I've done a lot in the Western industry. Now I'm just trying to build a lucrative breeding program and get me a foundation bred that comes from my farm ranch. And yep.
Cool.
I don't have a lot to say like Ronnie. Ronnie had a lot.
Ronnie
I
can
do the
go.
same. He goes on different adventures every day. I do the same thing, the same 3 things throughout the week. And then on the weekends, I haven't really been able to rodeo much in the last couple of years with being a mom and just like taking on so many racehorses. So usually every weekend we're at the racetrack. And we've had a pretty good year this year too.
So I was going to jump into it because like we all worked on a project in March together that hasn't come out, and I really can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be really big and really impactful film that we worked on, short film. But when we were scheduling the film, Margie, you were like, "Oh, I can't make it that weekend because I'm entering my horse into $1 million horse race." Like, tell me about that world and just like the stakes and how you get a horse up to that level.
A lot of it's bloodline, but a lot of it is feeding. A lot of people don't underestimate the schedule of feeding your horse. I feel like that's a really big part of it. I take feeding my horses very seriously. I will drop everything where I am and leave to go home to feed my horses on a schedule. We exercise 3 times a week, and then each horse will run every 3 weeks ish. Sometimes sooner, sometimes later. But that race we qualified. We had the 7th fastest time out of like 150 horses. And then the big race, we didn't do so well on the big race because I didn't prepare for her to run so soon after. It was probably maybe 17 days after. That was just a short time to get her to recover and get back up. But it was just a really big thing to make that just to be there, to be in that space, to have like a regular horse, or not a regular horse, but a regular horse. We got from the sale for $4,000, go and compete in $1 million race. That's really big for us. First time. I'm ready to run it back again next year.
Yeah, when you get that million, let me know. It's like
yeah, we're going on vacation.
I just want a little bit, not even 10%, just a taste. Ronnie, you race horses sort of too, and you're a calf roper. You know, you're doing calf roping now. But tell me about Pony Express. We've got a couple of Pony Express photos in the show.
Pony Express. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Tell me about Pony Express for somebody that's never been to a rodeo.
Pony Express is it's an event that'll have you on the edge of your seats, if not standing up, jumping, and celebrating. It's a relay race, an 8-man relay race. It derived from the Indian relay races, which we know today. It's basically condensed. It's a condensed Indian relay race. You know, it's in a rodeo arena instead of at a horse race track. You have 2 8-man teams that are basically racing against each other. You have 2 guys that'll initiate the race. They're called the jump men. And those guys are typically on a good team. They're probably one of the better riders, and probably have, if not the fastest horse, one of the fastest horses on the team. And what we'll do is we'll go around four barrels in a circular pattern. and simulate this 8 times, 1 through 8, and the 8th man has to drop the baton, which basically we pass the baton off each rider. We pass the baton as if you would if you were running track, like a 4x1 relay race. And the 8th man has to drop the baton in a smaller barrel that's literally located in the center of the 4 barrels as he completes the pattern. And the objective is to drop this barrel drop this baton in the barrel before the other team does, with 0 to little error. The team that completes the pattern the fastest wins the race. Now it's becoming I won't say a global event, but it's starting to spread through the southern states. It started here in Oklahoma, and you have states like Texas that has picked it up, Kansas, Arkansas, Memphis. We're not really classified as a professional event yet, but you have guys like myself and a few other guys that are entering professional events within the rodeo, and now we are kind of bringing light to the Pony Express world. Our goal is to, someday have it as structured and respected as the other rodeo disciplines, such as bull riding, burro racing, or, calf roping. What I chose to do is become a calf roper, to focus more so on just my own skill and what I could offer to the rodeo world, as well as to gain recognition as a calf roping athlete. Therefore, then people would want to do somewhat like a background check in the rodeo world, and then they would see oh, this guy was a standout Pony Express rider, and hopefully, they want to learn more about Pony Express. So through my due diligence of just being a daily cowboy, as well as a rodeo athlete, I try to bring awareness to what I do, not only on the daily, but to the smaller things are that they're big to me, but smaller to the outside world. So like I say, Pony Express is a rodeo event within the amateur circuit that is growing now. It's very exciting. And we have videos on YouTube. Right now, I say, I'm kind of biased, but I think I'm probably the best jumpman out there.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
Numbers don't lie, but I've also been doing this thing for about 15 years now. So a lot of the guys and kids that watched me, along the fence line 10 years ago, they're now able to compete against me. And it makes it that much better because it shows me that the sport is generating more athletes, and that's my goal for Pony Express, is just to continue to bring awareness to it. But my goal for myself within rodeo is to grow and be a household name whenever we're talking about calf roping, tie down roping, or team roping.
Yeah. But what do you think are some of the things that needs to happen in Pony Express for it to really become that recognized sport? For me, doing a rodeo, it's logistically that many horses is a challenge, right?
Yes,
You
definitely.
got eight horses per team, and you got to have probably 8 teams. That's a lot of horses, especially in an arena. What are some of the other limitations, or what are some of the other things that need to change?
I would say, like everything, whenever we're talking about professionalism, we have to continue to elevate and professionalize the sport. Therefore, it's respected on a professional platform. There's I don't even know what you would call them term-wise, but there's some things that goes on within the sport that aren't really as professional. It's an emotional sport, so we'll put it in the terms of football. You may have a football athlete that, can kind of lash out a little more, and it'd be more understandable opposed to a baseball player. Whenever, emotions are running through the roof and it's very competitive. So at times you have people that may feel like they're getting the short end of the stick. And I think first we would probably have to classify who could possibly be a professional athlete within the sport and who's amateurs, because there's really no age gap or age range or age limit to start. You have kids as young as 9 and 10 years old competing against guys that are as old as 50 years old, So, and some of these guys that are 50 years old has been doing this for 30 years since it became a sport. And this 10-year-old may have just started 5 or 6 years ago, but, have family members that have done it. So I think more than anything, first internally, we have to classify who's an amateur rider and who's a professional rider. And then from there, try to group the professional riders together, to somewhat put them on a professional level and coach the younger amateur riders up to graduate into that professional level. And also continue to bring in awareness. I look at it as if we get one person to believe in it, with some professional pull, like on the professional circuit, I think, it'll start being featured at professional rodeos. And then you'll have more professional eyes on the sport, and they may have input on how to make it a professional or a global sport.
Yeah, for sure. Margie, I remember the first time that we really like hung out. You were telling me about how you grew up, and I thought it was really, you were just like talking real casual, but I was like, what are you talking about? You're like going down a creek with a BB gun in case you run across coyotes, and I was like, that's like different. Will you talk to me a little about how you grew up and hanging out in Bowley and how that made you the cowboy you are today?
So I'm from Oklahoma City, but my dad is from Bowley, Oklahoma, and all of his family's in Bowley. So every weekend and every summer, the whole summer, me, my brothers, and my cousins were dropped off at my grandma's house. My grandma didn't have a bathroom inside of the house. We had she had an outhouse. I don't think there was electric. If there was, I didn't know about it. We didn't have TVs. We woke up, she made us a big breakfast, and then we'd go outside and play. We'd have like walking sticks, one BB gun, 2 fishing poles, and then we had 2 horses. We didn't have saddles. We had halters and lead ropes, and we would just be out. We had 280 acres, and we'd just be out there all day fishing, playing hide and go seek in the forest, just outside all day long. I don't even know how broke the horses were. So those were just kids, and they had to be older horses because we didn't have too much. We didn't have too much, and we would travel down the creek for miles with just that little travel pack. We'd come home in the middle of the day for lunch. She'd make us sandwiches, and then we'd go back out till dinner time. That's how I spent every weekend and every summer growing up.
That's incredible. That's not how I grew up.
Built character.
We grew up running from fighting pit bulls and
Yeah.
police. I just got a couple more questions, and then we can open it up to any questions in the room. But it's a question for both of you. What are the biggest challenges as modern day young cowboys? Both of you are much younger than me. What are some of the biggest challenges that you face as far as, being able to support your lifestyle, being able to, afford feed and getting the right horses to compete at the next level? Like, what are some of the biggest challenges, and like how could people advocate and support for you as cowboys? I'll start with Margie.
One of my biggest challenges is that I am a young Black woman. Like, for one, being a woman in this game, there's little to none. I haven't met another Black woman that does what I do. As for if I don't have good horses, like for the most part, my horses pay their way. They pay for everything, vet bills, feed. So if I don't have good horses and my program's not going good, then I'll get to a point where I'm struggling. I'll probably have to go get a job, a regular job, maybe pull out my rodeo saddle and go try to win me some money on the weekends. And just bring more awareness. I would like to see more people come out to the racetracks on the weekends and just it's a different horse environment. It's not so much cowboys and cowgirls, but it's just like more horse people, a different sport other than rodeoing. And it's fun. You can bet, you can win some money betting on a horse that looks pretty to you. Go win you $200-300. I kind of went off the map of the questions, but um, other than that, I don't think it's not too hard because I've been doing it my whole life, if that makes sense. And I make a way. Most of the time I have my son with me, and the older he's getting, the easier it's getting. But like when I first had him, I was struggling. I really was struggling. My horses weren't doing good, toting around this 20-pound kid. But now he's able to like fend for himself and hang out for 20-30 minutes by himself, and that's made it a lot more easy. Get more stuff done.
Is Maverick talking?
He speaks Russian. I don't know. He talks so much. He
Does he-
says some stuff. And at any given point, like you can tell him to say something, he won't say it. But at any given point, he will repeat something you say. And you just be like, wait, don't say that. And I'll be like, don't say that.
Manny's got one word, and it's this. He's like this. Like,
Yeah.
Can you get another word, bro?
Maverick too.
Ronnie, what are some of the biggest challenges as a modern day young cowboy, and how can people support you to get to the next level?
For me, I would say some of the biggest challenges I face, believe it or not, maybe identity challenges, because I'm able to kind of identify myself with, I guess, multiple professions and sometimes multiple races. So I get people like where I'm at, it's kind of like a small town feel. So for me, kind of being able to, or being fortunate to do things outside of, the norm here in Oklahoma, and in the Western world, I get some people are just genuinely just happy and fans for me, and then I get some people that they kind of shed their eye towards me because in their mind it's either I'm not a real cowboy because I can go walk for Louis Vuitton, or first I wasn't a real cowboy because all I did was Pony Express. And a lot of people don't really know the history of me kind of coming into the Western world. I started roping before anything, so my motivation has been just to show people that, what I mean, no matter what I'm doing, I'm still grounded here in the Western world. And I would say, other than that, it would be like everybody, sometimes finances, because I do this 365 days a year. So it's kind of like if I'm not working, then in my mind, I know my horses aren't going to be able to eat, as well as myself and my daughters. So I try to make everything that I do within the Western world somewhat beneficial or profitable towards me in a lucrative way, or just a brand expanding way, to continue to generate finances to support my lifestyle, as well as the goals and aspirations that I have in the Western world and in life also.
Yeah, that's great. If y'all not real cowboys, like I'm never gonna be one. I'm working my hardest.
Hey man, it's tough. It's tough up here, man. You get people, one day you may be a real cowboy to them, and they may be somewhere in a bar, majority rules. Oh man, such and such ain't a real cowboy because of this and that, and you get a lot of people kind of with that small small-minded mentality, you know. So I know one thing in the Western world, you know, the older guys are pretty set on what it takes to be a cowboy. And then you have the younger generation, you know, including myself, that are I would call them versatile cowboys, you know. I have friends that work 9 to 5 jobs, and you know they come in the evenings do, you know, their horse stuff. And then there's guys like me and there's women like Marge that this is what we do. This is practically our 9 to 5 or sometimes 9 to 9, you know. And people will say that, oh, you know, we're not real because we've been blessed with people like you, Ivan, that can, you know, may come out and take pictures of us for a campaign or something. And it's like, oh man, like now they're just posers to the culture. And it's like, all we're doing is really just shedding light and bringing awareness to what we do within the culture. We were just blessed with, you know, the access to the benefits of being able to do so. So yeah, the cowboy culture is pretty rank.
It is. Yeah, it's rough. Tell me about it, man. I'll tell you about some stuff that went down at the rodeo one day. But, yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
You know, for me as a rodeo promoter, I'm really realizing that I have to be like tough as nails. I gotta be hard. You know.
Yeah.
You have to be nice to people. You have to be welcoming to people. But like when stuff goes down, like I gotta be steel. And
yeah, you have to be. You have to be.
Yeah. Margie, last question for you. Based on what Ronnie was just saying, I know that you've been working with brands. I know you had that one deal, but you were too short. But
Yeah,
almost.
that's
Almost. Tell me about your thoughts about like non-Western brands, non-traditionally Western brands embracing cowboy culture.
It's just a trend. I'm sure it'll fall off. It's, you know, trends don't stay for a long time, so it's just what's in right now. So I'm thankful for the light it's shedding in, but it's to the point where you can't really defer the real from the fake. So it's just like a few different cultures mixed and mashed together. It's cool though. It won't last for a long time, but it's pretty cool. I like the clothes.
There's a lot of stuff you can wear these days. You can
Yeah,
come out as
man.
any kind of cowboy you want to be.
Right.
All right, I'll open it up to questions. If you want to put a question in the chat, we'll try to get to it. Let's see. Gina Guy says she attended the Shoe Boot and Saddle program in Oklahoma, Oklahoma, and one of the best things I saw down there was the Invitational Rodeo they held, which I believe is one of the oldest African American rodeos. Do either of you participate in that? And then she's talking about the Roy LeBlanc.
Yes. So the Roy LeBlanc Okmulgee Rodeo is the longest black, quote unquote, black rodeo that we have here in Oklahoma. I'll be competing there. I'll be competing there this year. I've competed there practically every year for the last 15 years, except for 4 years when I was in college, because it's always held the second weekend of August, which is also the weekend that we would have to report for school. But other than that, I mean, it's the biggest rodeo that you'll probably go to on the amateur circuit here in Oklahoma. This year, I'm sure it'll probably be as big as it's ever been, just due to the social media promo and, like I say, like Marge said, the trend that's going on right now. So you have people that'll be bussing in, flying in from all over just to be a part of the atmosphere. I mean, Ivan, you can attest to this. Heck, I remember one year I came home from college. It was probably 2018 or something. I met Ivan there, and that year it was pretty big. And heck, the next year I think I drove a Porsche to the rodeo or something, and Ivan he shot that. But it's one of the bigger rodeos that you'll get people kind of out the house and off the couch for just to come for all the extras. They host a parade It's on tribal land, so you have tribal police there. You have Native Americans that will come out. It's held at like a carnival or fair type of deal. So it is the biggest rodeo that you'll see here in Oklahoma City. I mean, not in Oklahoma City, but here in Oklahoma, on the amateur circuit. So yeah, that will be there. I'm sure Marge will be there. Hopefully, I'll have a full. I don't even know what to call it. I have a full camp set up across the street from the arena. I'm working on a deal with the car dealership that's located directly south of the arena, which would be across the street. To have their front lawn. I'll have my trailer set up there. Have a camper there. We'll do a barbecue. We'll do food. We'll also do like a meet and greet. It'll be a big deal. It'll be a lot of stuff going on in Okmulgee this year.
Yeah, I remember that was the first rodeo that I really went to, first quote unquote black rodeo that I went to. And I went there to go photograph it, and I was the only photographer there. I was the only one.
Yeah. Ivan was the first of his kind. Like, in fact, when Ivan came out, I had people that were like, "Hey, man, don't bring those cameras over here," because it's always been kind of a sheltered environment that a lot of people were kind of frowned upon. You know, people coming to record or get pictures of this environment. And with me kind of transitioning from being I don't know, somewhat decent football player, I created somewhat a fan base there. And I had like people that were interested in what I would do after football. So that kind of brought somewhat a few cameras around, and people like, oh man, here come Ronnie with the cameras and all of that. So I've dealt with that stuff, man. But you know, through persistent time, you know, it's become like something cool to do now. Now people want, you know, if they see some cameras walking around, they want to be a part of. They want to be in front of the camera, for lack of better words.
There's hundreds of cameras there. There's video crews.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot
Monkey Ball
different
was
now.
out there. ESPN was out there. Like it's a zoo now. Like
You can only get so far without somebody. Can I take a picture? Can I take a picture of you? Can you stand right here?
It's very different now.
Yeah, for sure. So when I went there in the late '90s, townspeople told me it was crazy and that it was dangerous, but it was great. It probably is dangerous, but it's fun though.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun for sure. I don't know many things I've done in life that was fun and that probably didn't have some degree of danger to it. So I look at it, you know, everything's dangerous nowadays. Heck, you can be flying out of town, you know, for a vacation, and you know that'd be kind of classified as dangerous too. So yeah, don't let the danger run you off.
No, for sure. All right. Are there any other questions? If not, we can let y'all get back to your horses.
Yeah, I gotta run fresh water to my horses because, heck, this sun is crazy. This heat is crazy here in Oklahoma.
It's so freaking hot. Yeah. And I just built a turnout, and I just put like all of my mares and retired horses in one turnout. And it's so far from water faucet, so I had to connect 5 water hoses, stretch it all the way out to the middle of the track, like 3 times a day. And I have 2 big troughs out there, and I don't know if the water is evaporating or they're just drinking that much water. I know my mares will play in it, and it's just like, it's so hot.
Right. Definitely.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time. And it's really fascinating to learn more about what you do. And, you know, it's so rare that you get to actually meet a subject in a photo. Oftentimes through the history of photography, you're looking at pictures of these portraits and you wonder, you know, about these people and their lives. And so it's so awesome to have you here. All the way from Oklahoma to in your busyness of the day-to-day, take a break and spend it with us. Hope you stay cool out there, Margie. Yeah. And thank you all so much for participating. Yeah, thanks for everybody that showed up, and this recording will be on our YouTube channel as well, so other people can catch it later. So yeah. Thank you, Ivan, so much for leading the way. It's great.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It was pretty good to sit. Like I said, I'm out at my horse barn right now, and I was able to jump in my truck and turn on the AC. So it worked out perfect for me. Thank you all.
So Ronnie, you were here in Portland just recently
Yes,
for the
I
rodeo?
love the city of Portland. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna ask you what was your experience like at the rodeo here in Portland? Yeah.
So I've been there on 2 occasions, both for the rodeo last year and the rodeo this year, and just to see how much it had grown, attendance wise. I mean, the scale of the event had grown as well. I loved it. Heck, I wish I even can do more radios down this way, just so people can kind of feel that vibe. It's different. And I think a lot of it goes to the rodeo producers too. Because it's kind of like an event, right? So Ivan, he did a great job with putting the event together. I was there all weekend, and every day it was something different to do leading up to the rodeo. So for me, it made my stay there like great, but it also just the rodeo itself, seeing how many people weren't really accustomed to that environment, leaving there with like smiles and grins on their faces, and the kids all the way down. I mean, like I say, the kids all the way up to the grandmothers and the grandparents. It was just a positive event for the city, and I think number wise, Ivan probably tripled or quadrupled in attendance numbers for spectators. So, heck, I don't know. Next year, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's probably gonna have to rent out I don't know, the biggest venue he can find there, just because there was so many people that came. It was a sold out event. It was so many people that wanted to be there, and I mean, I've already heard of so many people that are looking forward to next year. And coming. So no, the rodeo was great. It made my experience of the city of Portland that much better, so I enjoyed it.
That's great. I keep telling people it was literally my first rodeo. I had never been to a rodeo before.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people there like that too.
It was
Yeah.
incredible. I had such a great time. I brought a friend of mine who is from Nepal, and it was her first rodeo too, and
Wow.
had a great time. I think we got a picture with you, Ronnie. I think she got a picture with you, but she was like, "Oh, I think he's one of the Cowboys." And so it's funny how you were saying like, "I can't leave without getting everybody wanting to have a picture with you."
Yeah.
We just had a blast, and really, really well done. I've heard so many people that have come into the gallery or just in talking with folks about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe how I couldn't get a ticket. I can't believe how quickly it sold out." So
Yeah.
congratulations to you, Ivan, for just bringing such a really fun event to the city. I saw some Cowboys, maybe it was Friday night before the rodeo, were riding scooters through downtown, just like screaming yeehaw on the
Yeah.
it was such a good vibe. It feels good, especially downtown has, since the pandemic, has been a slow to recover. And so just bringing that energy to the city and bringing folks to town. The gallery was packed here on Saturday before the rodeo. There was just a lot of good excitement, felt like good momentum. Yeah. So we're excited to it's really such an honor to host the show at Blue Sky in June during the month of the rodeo. And we were like, Ivan's probably super busy. He's probably not gonna want to do it, but it was great for you to make time to pull the show off as well. Really let the people that were in town for the rodeo, get to see the work. Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I had a horrible time at the rodeo, but that everybody else and got
That's
something
usually
out.
how it go.
You just see all the things, you
Yeah.
you see all the things that we don't see, the things that you feel like
I took the hit
land.
in the city, but yeah, it was bad. It was miserable. But seeing so many people got so much out of it, and seeing all the Instagram videos, and yeah, seeing you on the video, Ronnie, how hard you worked at the roping station, like that was really incredible. Then you jumped up and worked the shoots, and yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate you. Yeah.
Hey man, it didn't even feel like work to me. Like that's how fun it was for me. I always just kind of I enjoy that part of it because man, yeah, like I say, it's indoor, weather controlled climate. It was just it was a wonderful day for me. But I'm so much of a personable person. I was like, I think I may have went to Ivan a few times just because I know like he was packing a load, and I'm just like, hey man, you doing good, man. Like, you know, just trying to give him some words of encouragement because it's not always easy, you know, especially when you're dealing with that many people and that many outside factors. You know, it's stressful. But like I say, Ivan, you did good. You held it together, man. And heck, I hope this year was a little bit easier than last year. I just hope every year gets easier for you, so you can keep this thing going. You know, because it's a lot of people that are looking forward to. I'm personally looking forward to this phase of rodeo in the Western world. So yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in Indianapolis right now, trying to figure out if we can do one out here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margie, we hope you can come out to Portland. You know, and we'll see you in action here at the rodeo maybe one day out
We'll be
here.
there next. I said that this year, but I had a really busy race year. That's why I didn't get to make it. But we'll be there next year.
Oh,
you might
good.
be here sooner than that. We'll see.
Probably.
Well, great. Thank you guys so much. This was such a wonderful conversation. Really appreciate it. Hope that you all have a wonderful afternoon, and we hope to see you back in Portland again for next year's rodeo.
Thank you, Kristen. Have a good one.
Thank you guys for having us.
Talk to y'all later.